For
hit the button.
He has a second
Hey, everybody, we're live. It's Oscars. We are live. They just happened. Let's do it.
Sit back down.
There we go, Todd.
You need to add that to it.
I do. So, hey, we were in the middle of a conversation, and then I hit the go live button because we kept on saying, hey, we should be recording this. So now we are. Welcome to the Almost Sideways podcast. This is our after Oscars recap, reaction, live extravaganza thing. I don't even know what we call it, but we're having fun. We just watched the Oscars. Adam is Knuff. And I have the dude on my shirt that really has nothing to do with anything going on in the Oscars, but
he abides.
He does abide. Unlike Al Pacino trying to read the Best Picture winner.
That's so good.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm Terry. We've got Zach. We've got Todd. We've got Adam. I see Oppenheimer.
At no point did he even come close to muttering the Oscar goes to.
I thought anything about that. Oppenheimer, hooah!
Well, I think so. I should say some things. I'm not going to say it. So
I'm wondering if there was a clip package.
That's what I thought too.
Because they always say, for one last time, let's go over the nominees for Best Picture.
For any category.
Yeah, they didn't do any clips because they knew Cillian Murphy was going to win, and they knew they didn't have an Oscar clip for him. So they just said, screw the whole thing.
No,
and we're not going to do awards. We're not going to do clips.
Every year they introduce them throughout, but then at the end it's like, let's remind everybody one last time who the nominees for Best Picture are.
Though. Who cares? The only one film was winning.
I don't know.
What's the point? Let's end it.
The orchestra was like,
Oppenheimer had won nothing, and then they're like,
did he just say it? The orchestra didn't even know what to do. Like, what? I don't know. Anyways,
we won. Hey, yeah. Cool. Good job, Al.
Oppenheimer. Yeah, the way it was announced was weird. Everyone knew Oppenheimer was winning Best Picture, though. There were some interesting moments. There were some surprises. We're going to go to Todd. You're always our Oscar guy, our Oscar guru. Initial reactions, favorite moments, anything. What do you got?
Well, I mean, obviously, favorite moment is Nicolas Cage being on the stage.
Hell yes.
Hell yes, I would. And I mean, I know Zach isn't a fan of those 5 people being up there, but I mean, I thought it was awesome. And we got the great moment of course, Tim Robbins, Freudian slip, an Oscar-winning role. I mean, Oscar-worthy. It should be winning. I think we all agree he was better than Downey, and there were a bunch of cool moments though. I mean, there were some surprises. I knew which ones. I knew that there were going to be some surprises because everyone was saying this is a perfect year for someone to get a perfect score on their Oscar predictions. Yeah, nobody got a perfect score because there were still the weird ones, and I just picked the wrong weird ones kind of. But I'm just thrilled to see Zone of Interest winning sound. That was definitely a highlight of the night, and overall pretty good.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I think that was definitely the surprise of the night. Was the best sound going to Zone of Interest. Everyone kind of assumed it was going to be Oppenheimer. I was thinking about it in the moment. It kind of felt like this was like the Sound of Metal winning sound. It was like you have an entire movie revolving around the sound work. And that's what makes that movie work. And
that was supposed to win, though. This is more like Sound of Metal winning editing, where it was like, are they really going to go there with that movie? And they did. I mean, it's super cool.
Yeah. Zach,
I think at the end of the day, everybody realized that Oppenheimer is a tiny bit overrated. Eight Academy Awards is a lot of Academy Awards. I think it didn't quite measure up to the 8 award winners. Like you got, I think Amadeus won 8, English Patient, Titanic, Slumdog, I think was the last 8 winner. Return of the King, obviously. I think the voters decided this year Oppenheimer wasn't quite there. So they had to give out a couple of awards that normally would have been Oppenheimer's, just to keep it not quite at that A level. And the Zone of Interest winning sound was definitely one of them. Yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot that the most exciting awards were a lot of the below the line stuff for the more technical awards. I mean, visual effects we'll talk about, but that was obviously a huge highlight. And animated film, and those were a lot of the words that knocked us off our ballots a little bit. Frankly, those were much more exciting than anything in the last hour of the show, minus Jimmy reading Trump's text. I thought that was marvelous stuff.
Of course.
So you're just like brushing off the fact that Emma Stone won, and when like the Vegas odds at the start of the telecast was -400 for Lily Gladstone. That was a huge upset that Emma Stone actually won.
It was. I was shocked.
So you're not saying that was a highlight? You're not saying that was an interesting moment?
It was a horrible moment. Lily Gladstone should have won. I think everyone was ready for that moment.
She should have won, but I'm saying that was an interesting moment because that was a very big moment.
Emma Stone didn't even look like
Anthony
she wanted
Hopkins
to get up
beat Chadwick Boseman.
She looked disappointed.
We found out later she didn't want to get up there because her dress was broken.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that look, because I saw the same thing. You saw that look of horror on her face that she won, and like, oh, she doesn't want to win. And then she gets up there and like, oh, no, she just doesn't want to go on stage because she was dancing too much to "I'm Just Ken." That was an amazing moment. I think everybody thought Lily Gladstone was going to win. Everyone wanted Lily Gladstone.
I didn't have her win. I had Emma Stone winning. Just throwing it out there.
I stuck. You're the only one of us.
Oh, look at the great pick! Great picks on Todd.
The big brain on
I mean, I think I did finish last in between the four of us, but that's because I actually picked upsets. I just picked the wrong ones.
Yeah. All right.
Adam, initial reaction.
I was doing. I was doing some videos on the old YouTube stuff like we did last year. It was interesting. I wanted to do visual effects because of the Godzilla possibility of winning. I was super excited about that. My number one movie getting that win. Actually, that was awesome. Emma Stone one definitely surprised me. So that was like, I'm glad I recorded that because that's like a legit, like I couldn't believe it. I was stunned there too. Definitely the Chadwick Boseman moment of the evening was but the show didn't end right after Emma Stone won. So that was the only big difference there.
I like that they put that as the one right before picture though, because everyone knew that was the one that was the coin toss. And
she's brilliant in the movie. I just watched that one on Friday. Not as big fan as you are, Terry, but she's really good in it. Ruffalo's
you
really
gave
bad.
it 2 stars. You hated it. I mean,
it's generous.
Why am I the only one that likes this movie? I also just watched it this weekend because it was streaming and my wife wanted to see it, and she loved it and I loved it again. I don't understand why you guys hate Poor Thing so much.
She is good, but big shout out to everybody watching right now. We have 30 people in here on X, Facebook, and YouTube. So drop some comments down there. We'll read them out as we go along the show as well, and make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe.
Come on, Adam. It's Twitter. No one's going to ever call it X. Just keep calling it
Twitter.
Okay, Twitter. You're old, Terry.
Yeah. I know. That must be it, too.
Check us out on LinkedIn and MySpace. Okay.
All right. Well, we had Jimmy Kimmel back as our host with the 4th time. I don't mind Jimmy Kimmel as a host. I know he had some interesting zingers that some people didn't like. Gatorade me, bitch. Oh, thank you, Zach, for that. Wonderful. But yeah, I think that
you think I'll just say it for you. We think that John Mulaney should be the host next year, right? Like his epic rant on Field of Dreams was one of the greatest things I've ever heard at the Oscars. Like he went on for like a minute and a half. I was like, he's still going. This is some almost sideways shit. Like,
awesome. Your comment in the text thread was perfect. It's like, this is the most almost sideways moment ever in an Academy Awards. The Ghost baseball game. That's a great call. John Mulaney should be hosting this thing. Between John Mulaney and John Cena, there were some great presenter moments.
Himself.
And Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling.
That was pretty good too. I was looking so Todd, I know at least you listen to Next Best Picture, and Matt Neglia prides himself as being the first one to coin the term Barbenheimer, and then they did an entire like segment on it at the Oscars, and I'm like, dude, he must just be like sitting there as a proud papa right now.
Yeah, he's way more connected than we would like to admit that he is.
Yeah. I mean,
he was there.
He took
a picture with Clayton Davis. Like he was there.
Oh yeah, he was there. I heard about that. He was there.
Yeah, because you see it on his. Because Clayton Davis and I follow each other on Facebook too. His little reel was like actually had Matt Neglia in it. It was pretty cool.
What if they're like
John Cena? Oh, go ahead.
What if they're like watching us from the after parties right now? Like, listen, put down the drinks. We got to tune into the Almost Sideways pod.
Right. I mean, this is the important part.
I thought for a second that tweet that Jimmy Fallon was reading was one of our tweets. That's what I honestly thought for a second.
Kimmel, don't talk like that, wine country.
Oh, what did I say?
Fallon.
Well.
Yeah, what are we drinking?
We're not on Truth Social. We didn't post on Truth Social. We're not.
I must say, like the whole John Cena thing, though. Like when he started that bit, I thought it was gonna be like lame. Like, oh gosh, who are they gonna have?
I thought it was Cena
pops out, or Cena just pops his head out. I'm like, okay, and then he walks out, and he gets to the microphone, and he's like actually presenting something. Like he's gonna present something in the nude, and then he just says costumes, and I died.
Yeah, I was saying to Adam earlier that I wanted John Cena there as a member of the Barbie cast to be promoting Ricky Stenicki, and when I saw him pop his head around, I was like, "Oh yes, here it is!" And it was something even better than I could have ever possibly imagined.
It was great. It was great. The underrated joke from the monologue was the joke about De Niro and Jodie Foster. I thought that was great, especially Jodie Foster's reaction to it. It's true. It's true. Old enough to be his daughter, but 22 or 20 years young enough to be his daughter, but 20 years too old to be his girlfriend.
Well, Bob didn't look very happy about that one, though.
No, he didn't. Bob never looks happy about stuff like that.
He was just there so he didn't get fined.
Yeah, true. Well, the only one that looked more unhappy was Michael Keaton by design. I think it was his best performance in like 30 years. Like him just sitting there staring at his past Batman villains.
That was beautiful. Even though Schwarzenegger was in the Clooney one, he wasn't even in the Keaton one, but the bit still worked. The bit still worked.
Yeah. Love seeing some Pinot Noms get some love at the Oscars, get a bone as presenters. Got Bad Bunny up there. It's awesome to see him. Shimulu.
Why can't Schwarzenegger say Godzilla? Like the Godzilla. He couldn't say it. That was weird. I thought that was weird.
It's like when he presented Barbie and Babbo.
The
Queen.
18 years ago.
I thought when they went up there, they were going to make a comment about the ads they do and how like DeVito was going to walk out with some Jersey mics and Schwarzenegger was going to have on his State Farm shirt. But go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to say, I think the real takeaway tonight is I was bored through this whole thing. It's like movies. I fell asleep during a lot of it, but I was awake when Nicolas Cage was on stage. And when he introduced Paul Giamatti, I thought, we have it. It has to happen. Paul Giamatti is going to win his Oscar being introduced by Nicolas Cage. Side question, hasn't Nicolas Cage done a movie where he's had a glass eye? I feel like that has happened or obviously should happen or
right.
I don't know.
You apparently thought that there were like 4 or 5 Christian Bale movies where he had a glass eye. I remember that.
That's true. That was he was in the stock market movie with the glass eye. Anyway, I don't know. I just feel I feel disappointed by that, and I really feel like this is like the Mickey Rourke and Bill Murray stuff. Paul Giamatti was a great sport, but he should have won, and that was disappointing. But we could have a laundry list of things that were disappointing about this Oscars, in my opinion. But this isn't Festivus. This is the Oscars, and we're here to emanate joy.
Giamatti did say that his after party would be at In-N-Out again.
Yes,
there we go.
I heard that on the pre-show.
Animal Style. Let's go.
Yeah.
Not Animal Style, no. But if he goes to the one on the Strip, there's just probably a short line there. You might see Terry and I there. Almost missed each other.
That was true. So
this
his
is the
co-star. Oh, go ahead, Todd.
I was just gonna say this is the third time Scorsese's had a movie with 10 plus nominations get shut out. Like how that's I mean that record's never gonna be touched, right?
And why did they not go to him at all? He was there. There were more Spielberg jokes than Scorsese jokes. That was not on my scorecard.
Spielberg was a nominee too.
He was for what?
Maestro.
Yeah, as a producer. Well,
yeah.
Still, I mean,
that was another one of my favorite jokes.
Do picture.
Was Spielberg? Are you nominated, or do you just have season tickets?
He said both. that's what he said.
Yeah. But I also liked the Kate McKinnon one too.
Yeah, I was going to say I thought Kate McKinnon was funny.
All right, well, I gotta say the night started off with a bang, having Divine Joy Randolph win the first award of the night. I think the MVP of the night is definitely Publicists.
Yeah, my publicist.
I wrote that down too.
Yeah, and then the you never said his name. I thought that was a great moment too, and she was off mic, but the sentiment definitely was there. Your publicist needs a publicist. Who said that was an almost famous line?
I said it was an almost famous line because it wasn't quite that.
Your manager needs a manager.
Yeah,
but it was with Jimmy Kimmel, not Jimmy Fallon, which Adam already messed that up. So we're all on the same mistaken page.
We did need a Matt Damon appearance, though. I mean, I was
what happened to that?
Nothing. I mean, Oppenheimer.
They said his full name like 3 times.
And Matt Damon. This was the first year of the Matt Damon Award. Matt Damon, what movie are you in? And he wasn't even there to show up for that. Embarrassing.
I know. Come on.
It's because he was so disappointed the last time he was invited for for the La La Land thing, and he didn't even get to do it because they screwed it up anyway.
That's true. That's true.
And Kimmel's line about that was pretty funny. Like, let's tear that envelope up so we don't have any confusion this time.
That was beautiful.
But nobody really got it in the room. But for us that watched this, like, yeah, that was awesome.
He had that line ready in case Emma Stone.
Just in case. Okay, the song performances. We got to talk about these two.
Yes, that was one of the more interesting categories tonight. Was song.
I agree. In our text chain, I think Zach, you're the one that said, if it was based solely on performance live at the Oscars, I'm Just Ken wins. I'm
not even sure I agree with that. Like when Billie Eilish performed and she was like visibly shaken by the response that the crowd had to her performance, like you knew that she was gonna win. Like she was that amazing too. It was a different kind of performance. It wasn't like a Broadway show-stopping thing. It was like she was doing her thing and she was in her element, and she was like, and she even, you could see she was like, whoa, like I can't believe they're actually like that response came from the crowd.
That's a good point.
She's the new queen of Hollywood. Like she wins every award she's ever nominated for in whatever award show.
Todd, you also brought up an interesting theory that there's no way that Gosling does that sober. But I don't know how he does that drunk. I mean, that was a lot of like movement on stage and a lot of like choreography.
You say that though, but like Gosling at award shows is a different animal. Like at award shows and on talk shows, he is like so irreverent and just off the rails odd.
Not when I've seen him.
This is totally him.
When he's in like interviews and stuff, like he is very reserved. Like he's one of those guys that takes his career very seriously and everything. That was the opposite.
But when he's at stuff like this, he's always just like the whole, like the award that he gave with Emily Blunt and the whole Barbie versus Oppenheimer thing. I remember when like the Nice Guys came out and him and Russell Crowe did all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I remember him getting up there and saying like, I mean, come on, we've got like 2 Academy Awards between us or something. It's like, I have one and you haven't won any. It's like, well, why are we worrying about the math on this here? We're Oscar winners. I mean, come on. This is what he does. He's just irreverent and self-deprecating, and that's all Barbie and Ken were. And so that's why he did it. And that, I mean, having Slash come out, I mean, what?
Who got that on their bingo card?
Okay. The funny thing was, like, and this is a total music thing, and I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but like he starts in the crowd, and I love how Margot Robbie was just dying of laughter as he's starting up, and he walks on stage, and there's Mark Ronson that meets him on stage. I'm like, huh, Mark Ronson's playing the bass. That's different. And then we find out why, because Slash was on guitar. It's like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. We had to bring out Slash for this. You had Simu Liu and Kingsley Benadir out there as the other Kens. You had Emma Stone breaking her dress. You had the entire, Barbie team singing along on the microphone. I mean, it was brilliant. But here's the thing. You had that, and I'm Just Ken was great. And you're right. What Was I Made For was amazing too. But the Wazaze from Killers of Flower Moon, like that was just like breathtaking. Them coming out of commercials straight to that was super cool.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people actually knew the song like when they were voting, because if they that had as much of a narrative to win as anybody, and it is a great song. It is really, but it's not something they would ever vote for, and it's not something that you see the title, you're just like, okay, what is that?
Got a comment here. Can I get a Kingsley Benadir Marley impression from Terry?
It's all good, man. I don't have it anymore. I didn't just watch the movie anymore.
Lost it.
I lost it. I lost it.
We got our winner. Brett Doe's shutting out Marty again. Oscars remain on fraud watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Brett Doe's, yeah, congratulations. You did win the Oscar challenge. You're invited on a podcast at some point.
What was his score?
He only missed 4.
You missed 4?
So
one out of us.
20 out of 24?
Terry,
or 21 or 19 out of 23?
For second. Between Terry, last year's champ Larry Chisholm, who was just on my Midsommar review, myself, and my wife also.
Hey. So
wow.
So Adam and I got the
said
tops
boom
of us. Boom.
Is there any award, or is there any one that only one person got right? It doesn't look like it.
No,
I don't think so. The closest was sound. Only 3 got zone of interest for sound.
Wait, shout out to
one
Atticus.
One of them was my son.
Huge job,
Atticus. I just held up the iPad and said, which one? And he clicked. Which one? And he clicked. He liked clicking on Barbie. I'm not going to lie. But then when it came to ones that didn't have Barbie, he had to pick something.
My daughter did too. My daughter loved picking Barbie.
Yeah. My daughter also liked clicking Barbie. And when I got to original song, she went, can I click on 2? I said, no, you can't click on 2. Okay. And so she had to pick which Barbie song she was going to vote for. But she was beating Atticus for a while, and she might have ended up winning.
Hey, she picked Godzilla. Good job.
Yeah.
So
can
we talk about the songs a little bit more in depth? Because we were having a lot of conversation on the text thread. Some very hot takes being thrown out there. First of all, what was the John Baptiste song even from? I don't even know what that is.
It's from his documentary.
It's from his documentary, yeah.
And it's the end credits song.
It almost got nominated for documentary if the Academy actually would nominate something about people like famous.
And then the Flamin' Hot Cheetos song, which apparently I guess wasn't released as a movie according to Terry. It was only streaming. So
it was a straight to Hulu movie. Like
it played in festivals though. That's the loophole.
But everyone like it gets nominated, and everyone was like, "Wait, that was eligible."
Yeah,
my question was, that was a song?
Becky G, knew
it was an eligible movie. I'm telling you, the only reason this is an eligible movie is because it got Diane.
Yes.
Oh, am I back?
I think we heard that.
I was gone for a second.
Yes, you're back.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyways.
I don't
know what all you heard.
Yeah, we heard it all. We heard it all.
Yeah.
We heard enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we heard Kenuff. But yeah, nice. Peaches had deeper lyrics than the Fire Inside. Like, what in the world? Like, I think Diane Warren was like, "All right, here's my challenge. If I write a song that has 5 words that just get repeated over and over again, can I still get the Oscar nomination?" And the answer is yes, because that's all the Fire Inside song has. That's 5 words, and that's it. Like, that's not even a song.
That's what I said. Is this even a song? It sounded like a made-up song at like a movie that was like satirizing the Oscars or something. It didn't sound like a real song. But I do have mad props for the Oscars for nominating Air with a nomination, Flamin' Hot with a nomination, but no nomination for Blackberry.
Air
Obviously,
had
lots
no
of
nominations.
Air had no nominations.
Oh, Air wasn't nominated. Okay, well then I take it back.
It was only
Flamin'
one
Hot.
nomination for
Flamin'
Peanuts.
Hot had one nomination and Blackberry did not. So they did good job there by the Oscars. Great decision making again.
In hindsight, Flamin' Hot could have been my pick for surprising movie at the Pinos. It could have been probably a solid pick. Anyway,
So I want to know how many of the winning films were American movies or had American directors, because I think the answer is like less than 3. Like, I mean, being in a foreign film is like the only thing the Oscars care about now, right? Because you had your foreign animated film win, you had the foreign film even coming up and winning sound, you had I mean basically everything. I mean, Oppenheimer's a foreign director. Yorgos is a foreign director. Like everything.
What are we looking? The Holdovers?
The Last Repair Shop.
Godzilla is a foreign director.
The last repair shop guy did look American. I would agree with that.
So we had Wes Anderson's American. He didn't show up. I mean, like I guess Barbie. So we have
Barbie,
like, is there like
Holdovers,
5
American fiction.
tops? 5 tops maybe like awards that were given to Americans. I mean that's ridiculous, isn't it?
You had a Ukrainian lead, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if only the movie was good.
Have you seen it?
Oh,
yeah, I watched all the documentaries. It was maybe 3rd best.
I still need to see any of the documentaries.
Yeah. What was your favorite speech?
Ooh,
Cord Jefferson was pretty.
Cord Jefferson's speech was pretty awesome. It was. I like that one.
Well, yeah, he's the one that he said both Gretas. I'm not sure if he was talking about Greta Lee because she wasn't the director. I mean, I was a little confused by that line. I wrote that down. I was like, I'm still not sure what he was talking about.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I really like Christopher Nolan's speech. I thought his was a really good speech. Like, he knew he was going to be up there. Did
he not thank Cillian Murphy though? That's the thing. Did he not say Cillian Murphy's name?
He said him after the rest of the cast.
Okay, well I zoned out after that. So
I thought his was actually one of the weaker speeches. He didn't thank Scorsese. You know, when Bong Joon-ho won, he profusely thanked Scorsese, and it was like a big thing. And like he didn't thank Greta Gerwig. I mean, let's get real. His movie doesn't get nominated if it doesn't get released along Barbie. And then he didn't have any message. I mean, the Mariupol guy got up there for 20 minutes and they didn't play him off. He didn't even have any message about let's get rid of all nuclear weapons. What happened, Chris? I mean, I was expecting that. He probably did have a long time to prepare, but I expected more out of that speech from Christopher Nolan.
Did you just say Mariupol?
Yeah, is Mariupol?
Okay.
Mariupol?
Mariupol?
I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Bad about my Jimmy Fallon slip up.
I've heard it both ways. Don't try to over-intellectualize everything, Terry. Just hand me the Gatorade, bitch. I don't even know what that's from. Is that from an episode?
It was from a sideshow.
I know, but I can't remember.
From The Fly.
It was from the Fly episode. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
a reason I remember.
One of my favorite speeches was the speech for The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar when Wes Anderson wasn't there, and Rami Youssef accepts it on his behalf and then just goes, "Dang, Wes, we knew you could make long ones, but this is amazing," and then walked off the stage.
Yeah, I like Rami Youssef because didn't he say like all these filmmakers are adept at making their awards short or their films short, which is what we're going to do in this presentation. It's like,
yes, that was good.
That's the spirit of it. That was
good.
Yeah, get to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Billy and Phineas's speech. Like they hit a point where they were totally just brother and sister right there, and they just started like talking over each other and then making each other laugh. Like that's the way you accept an award, and that's their second Oscar. That wasn't even their first, where they were a little chaotic. That was just them doing their thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I watching the like the pre-Oscar ceremony, the red carpet stuff, and seeing them on there and talking about how the Greta Gerwig came to them about this song and made it like let them watch the movie before they wrote it, I guess, and how they got into it. I thought that was pretty cool. Seeing that little insight as well. So.
Let's talk about the moments that Zach hated the most, even though and was surprised by, apparently, even though they announced they were doing this like 3 weeks ago.
I liked it.
The announcement of the acting categories, of bringing out the 5 former winners to talk about the nominees.
I was intrigued by how they paired them up. Like, I mean, I used to do this, like an article where I'd write the winners and losers of the ceremony, and one of the winners I wrote down was besties, because that was like the first one. It was Jamie Lee Curtis saying, like, I get to talk about my bestie, and then she talked about Jodie Foster. Like that was pretty cool. I mean, that was like when Tarantino accepted his Oscar for Django, and he's like, "This is awesome. I get to accept this from my neighbor, Charlize Theron. Like, she lives like 2 houses down from me." You know, like, I mean, I don't know. They do those kind of weird, those kind of funny little things sometimes.
I did like the Sam Rockwell call out to Tropic Thunder because it's also an Iron Man 2 pairing. So they could pay off each other. I want
to go listen to the DVD commentary of Iron Man 2 now. Like, apparently it was epic, according to Rockwell.
I just watched Iron Man 2 recently, and yeah, like him up there talking about Downey, I'm like, he's talking to Tony Stark. Like and I was expecting him to finish it with it's like in the court hearing, he like has his whole speech and he finishes up by going, "God bless America, God bless Iron Man," and walks off the stage. And I was expecting him to finish with that, and he didn't. But the call out to Tropic Thunder was great, and you could tell Downey loved that moment too. Some of the pairings felt a little forced, especially trying to find pairings for all the Everything Everywhere people. And
Jeffrey Wright,
Christoph Waltz could do it his with.
Ryan Gosling. Let's talk about Barbie.
Yeah. That was a little goofy, but I kind of dug it. They should have Kevin Kline do Ryan Gosling. Like, that's like the closest thing you have to one. If you would have won.
And Sally Field did Emma Stone. Like, what was that? There's no relationship there, right?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it. Well, I mean, Emma Stone is now in the Sally Field, Hilary Swank, Jodie Foster category. So they knew. Being a young actor with 2 wins. Yeah, I mean, maybe that was our tell.
They knew Robbie. No, see, I mean, that's
Hilary
just
Swank
ridiculous.
wasn't going to be there, and obviously Jodie Foster was nominated, so she couldn't be up there.
Hilary Swank's very busy these days. I think they're terrible. They're completely indulgent. But so is the Best Picture winner, so that's okay. But like, you know what I remember is a plastered Anthony Hopkins introducing his best friend Brad Pitt at the 2008 Oscars. Like, that shit was funny. Like, he could barely get the words out of his mouth. Nobody was even drinking. I thought everybody had some drinks after Guillermo's toast to everybody. Let's get a little bit The show was way too tame. With the even the streaking John Cena was way too tame. We needed some more outlandish outbursts. I think we need to invite Will Smith back. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Let's make things interesting next year. Let's
I'm telling you, Gosling was trashed.
That's how he's looked all award season, though. Like, all award season.
I don't know. This is
exactly how he looks in his new movie with Emily Blunt.
This is similar to does Glenn Close actually know the lyrics to The Butt? I don't think Gosling was trashed. I think he's just adept at looking that way because that song had way too many different moving pieces to it. I also don't think Emma Stone actually damaged her dress on that impromptu performance because it didn't look like she was really doing that much. It's conspiracy theories.
Well, we didn't see the whole performance. My favorite introduction was Ke Quan having to introduce Sterling K. Brown. Like, he starts up and he says Sterling K. Brown, and Sterling K. Brown looks up and is like, "Really, I get you?" Like, that was the look on his face. Like, "Oh, you're gonna talk to me? Okay." Awkward.
Did anyone all night get a single standing ovation? Did they give one to Nolan?
There was a lot of.
Yeah, they gave a standing ovation to almost everybody.
Really? The documentary guy got a standing ovation.
Presenter.
They gave the best song for Killers of the Flower Moon people a standing ovation.
Okay, maybe I missed
They
it.
just rarely
Maybe I was
showed
just-
the crowd that much during the standing ovations.
I think okay.
They
The
gave
reason I
Jimmy
asked,
a half standing O. He even said that.
Yeah.
Partial. Thank you for that partial standing ovation.
one of my real MVP candidates was Bradley Cooper's mom because she never stood up during the standing ovations. She was always just sitting there.
Bust a hit.
That was another great joke. How many times can your mom be your date before you're dating your mom? Are you doing a Freud movie next? Like that was a.
Who was
that
that
was
about?
pretty great.
That was Bradley Cooper.
That was
Bradley
Bradley
Cooper.
Cooper.
You're right. You're right.
When Kimmel said, the genetic lottery, and then Gosling like grabs his mom's shoulders and like he's like, "This is the reason."
Or are you gonna say
You're
Zach?
right about. I take back what I said. You're right. There were several standing ovations. But I think Terry's right too. They didn't have an angle on them that you could see them very well. Like I don't know, maybe, but you're right. There were several. I take back what I said. There were probably excessively a lot of standing ovations.
There was a standing ovation that. What was it? Was it the In Memoriam, where the standing ovation blocked the camera angle?
I like the operatic. The operatic, three tenors in memoriam.
Oh,
that brought some class to it.
The second the singing started, I went, "Oh, Andrea Bocelli's in the audience tonight," because he has just an unmistakable voice, and it was his song.
They should have had a heavily maked up Bradley Cooper get on stage and lead it with his baton. That should have been part of that In Memoriam. But everyone hates Maestro.
The death of the nose.
That was a song that didn't, or that was a joke that did not land well. Was the nose joke?
No.
About.
Did you guys notice that apparently the Anatomy of a Fall dog knows how to clap? That was really impressive.
Such a good gif. I love it. Another Pinot nominee.
Pinot nominated. Messi. Isn't that his name? Messi?
Messi, the dog. Yeah.
Messi.
I like how next best picture had an interview. It said interview with Messi, the dog from Anatomy of a Fall, and his trainer.
Nice.
That was the interview. I was like, heck yeah. That was a.
See, I don't like that stuff. I like that Anatomy of a Fall could have been a smaller movie, and that dog could have been a nice in-joke for us for a good year or so. We could have gotten a lot of traction out of that dog, joking about it, throwing up and all that shit. But now the movie's too big. Making a joke like that is derivative. I mean, it's just not funny anymore. So
says the one who nominated it for a Pinot.
I know. I'm criticizing myself. Now I got to get more creative in my jokes. I can't just bring up the dog from Anatomy of a Fall. I mean, I really thought that was a big thing from the movie, and then everybody got onto it, and it just got too big.
I don't
too
think
quickly.
you were in the headspace to be creative in Vegas, Zach.
Never.
I think that was just whatever you had, whatever came on your mind at the second.
It's gonna be a great mountain for douchebag.
I definitely thought about that award more than Nolan thought about his speech. There was much thought going into that.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
That was not even thanking the greatest director of all time who's in there, and it may well be his last. Even director Bong remembered to do that, and then he even thanked who were the Todd Phillips and Sam Rockwell? No, Sam Mendes. He thanked all the directors in there. If you're a director and you don't thank the other directors, you're a douche.
Just you only thank the other people when you're not expecting to win.
Every acceptance speech from now on has to thank Martin Scorsese. That's the standard. If you don't think Martin Scorsese,
he's always going to be there.
A horrible person. He's got season tickets too.
Yeah, he hates Marvel.
Well, the one speech I also liked was the Godzilla people, because they went up there and one of the winners was action figures. I mean, dude, they all had freaking dinosaurs like going up there. And to the point that he couldn't even hold the Oscar. He's like, "What do I drop? The dinosaur or the Oscar?" He was like, "Here, take the Oscar. I need to hold the dinosaur." It was pretty awesome.
He's not. He's a kaiju. He's not a dinosaur.
I haven't seen the movie.
Get it right, man.
It's not. It's not a dinosaur.
Was he a dragon?
He's a kaiju. He's a giant monster. No, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, tomato. Okay. Anyway, what's going on?
You're gonna give him crap and then say it doesn't matter. I love it.
The points don't matter.
Okay, how about Boy and the Heron taking out
Good
Spider-Man.
win. Terry hated that win, but we loved it.
I was the only one of us that stuck with it. Like I knew this was how I was gonna go.
Well, you were anti-dicting it, as they like to say, because the way Zach does for everything, like picking worst possible scenario.
Zach, I think, not said Oppenheimer was winning adapted screenplay. So
that was the one thing I thought it should win.
And like the thing it was most likely not gonna win.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Oppenheimer only won 7 Oscars, which I guess is an upset. I said last week I thought it would I liked the 6-1 that it was going to win 10 or more. So 7, I mean, that's definitely underperforming from what we were talking about.
Again, yeah, it's like I said. I mean, you guys are giving me shit, but I think that's a tacit recognition that it's not a great movie. I mean, like what? Shakespeare in Love won 7, I think. Hurt Locker won 7. These are mediocre Best Picture winners. Okay, I mean,
yes, giving 2 acting Oscars, the directing, the picture, all that. Yeah, it's
cinematography, editing, like all the important stuff.
That is their way of saying, screw you, Oppenheimer. You are a horrible movie. I
think they gave Poor Things
cooled off a little bit.
4 Oscars.
Yeah, they love Poor Thing. I think the thing is, Poor Things was the stock was rising. Maestro.
Barbie.
Oppenheimer's was going down. I think they got all those screeners and watched them on Peacock, and they realized that it wasn't that great when you weren't watching Barbie on the same day in the theater. I don't think it translated quite as well to the small screen. Or they just realized
a movie like that wouldn't translate as well to the small screen. No, I know, but what it kind of felt a little like, this felt like, as I was watching, it felt like 2004, when the beginning of the ceremony, Aviator was sweeping through the text and won a bunch of texts, but then when it came to the important stuff, $1 Million Baby, 1 director, won 2 acting Oscars, and came away with picture. It was like that, but a little more decided. Like everyone knew Oppenheimer was going to win.
It's more like last year, where Poor Things was pretty much the All Quiet of this year. Where it was like taking all the below the line stuff early on. They front loaded it like that, so they didn't actually know that Oppenheimer was still actually win 7 Oscars. That's why the supporting actor was like halfway through the ceremony. Like they never do that. That's always the first or second category of the show.
Yeah,
they put it like an hour and a half in.
Screenplay really early.
Yeah, because they knew
Oppenheimer wasn't winning.
Yeah, they front loaded the other movies.
Yeah. Now we have to switch our Pinots because now we have to switch from supporting actor to supporting actress. We got to follow suit.
What did you guys think of the Tina Turner as the last in memoriam?
Yeah, that must have been
a plus. That was a plus 800, I would think. Matt, well,
yeah,
Goldeneye,
I did not see that.
What's Love Got to Do with It? I mean, that's obviously legend. Okay, R.I.P.
From Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's what I was gonna say.
I gotta say, not having Todd said Burt Young, but I would have gone with Matthew Perry. He would have been my pick for the final in memoriam. But Tina Turner's obviously
there's some good ones. He had William Friedkin. What was the actor they had early
Gary
on?
Belafonte. They had early
Ryan
on.
O'Neal.
Ryan O'Neal. Yeah, they had Alan Arkin. They had they started with like 5 bangers to start it off, and then they kind of went through some of the ones that weren't as recognizable.
Richard
actually talking about this.
Well, yeah, I was talking about this.
Are you just talking about this, or are you just talking about it?
Yeah, actually talking about it. Yeah, I could tell they were trying to get as many up there as possible, like using their screens and just like, let's just flash some faces just to get some out of the way and get as many people up here, because everyone complains always, oh, how could you have left this person off, and how could you have left they have a limited amount of time. They can't roll through everybody, but
it's disappointing they didn't show a Tom Wilkinson clip from In the Bedroom. That was disappointing.
Yeah, Paul Rubens.
That was to see a clip.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch it, Dottie. I lived it. That was great.
What's up, Tim?
Pee-wee's awesome. Yeah, having him on there. My kids were watching at that point, and I'm like, and they're like, "What's in memoriam?" And I said, "That's when they talk about all the remember all the people who died in the last year." And then like, Pee-wee died, and I was like, "Well, no, not Pee-wee, the actor who played Pee-wee." So he didn't die in the movie? No, Pee-wee didn't die in the movie. I had to explain how that all works. Yeah, it was great hearing Andrea Bocelli though. That was
really
awesome.
cool. That was one of the better in memoriams, but it definitely felt like near the end of it, it was like very rushed. And I hate when they do a lot of cuts back to different things. It's like show me more people.
The problem with the in memoriam though, the problem with it was they were too interested in what was going on stage that they never actually got close enough to the screen that you could really see what was going on. Like we usually at some point they like zoom in and you're seeing the screen. Instead, they had to show like they had people dance. Why do you have dancers on an in memoriam? The focus should be on the in memoriam, not on your interpretive dance you're doing underneath the people. That was my problem with the in memoriam. Like just show the people. That's all we really want to. We don't care who's actually doing the performance for the in memoriam. However, it was cool that it was Andrea Bocelli. Cut to him a couple times. Show the screen. That's what we care about. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You tell him, Terry.
Yeah.
Get him,
yeah. Okay. Another one that was slightly up in the air that I just was looking at and noticed. Makeup ending up going with Poor Things.
Yeah.
Over Maestro.
I predicted
Dang
that.
it. I messed up that one.
They were never going to give Maestro to anything.
But current trend was saying that it was a Maestro thing. That's what they given it to.
No,
recently.
they hate Maestro.
Like last year.
Everyone hates
they
it.
gave it a Best Picture nomination and 2
Twitter
lead
hates
acting.
Maestro. You're getting that mixed up.
That enhanced the hatred for it even more. I've never seen. I texted you guys. I've never seen a more hated Best Picture nominee than Maestro. Everyone hates it. And what's so ironic is it's not that far off from Oppenheimer.
Has anybody actually said they hate it? No, everyone just is like lukewarm on it.
No, they hate.
I think that might be the problem.
It's
you want passion one way or the other.
But it still was nominated. It still was nominated for a lot of Oscars. They were nominated for cinematography and screenplay. Like they didn't hate the movie. They loved the movie. They just didn't love it enough to give it an award. They also didn't give Kills of the Flower Moon Awards. Does that mean they hated it? No,
but Oppenheimer winning 7 obviously means it was overrated. Yeah. So
no, I'm just saying.
I thought. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know what the voters thought, but a lot of the online, because I'm out there, fans. You know I am. I'm in all the movie circles. They were all talking about how they were shitting on Maestro. It's blatant Oscar bait. Bradley Cooper wears a nose, and it's got very flashy cinematography and all that shit.
You need to stop listening to Fantasy. Fantasy is not an authority on anything. He's just
reporting what he hears. I don't think anyone.
I thought his. I don't think anyone liked Maestro. Are just his high school students, but
the gig is up.
Gig is up. I think really, if you think about it, Maestro wasn't hated. You know what was hated? The Whale. And The Whale won Best Actor and Makeup last year. So, that was the one.
That was more just a divisive movie. That was more like Poor Things. But apparently a lot more people liked Poor Things in the industry, at least.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you've got that, like, you need a passion on one side or the other. But if you're going to say it's all because of, everyone ended up not liking it. I mean, just last year, the one that nobody liked ended up being a winner in makeup for the lead actor getting extensive makeup done.
Well, the problem probably was that Maestro was on Netflix. If Maestro actually got released in the theater and you were going to the theater to see a Bradley Cooper movie, I'm sure people would like it a lot more. Yeah. But the fact that everyone watched it on TV is just like, okay, whatever, it's just another movie. Or they didn't even finish it.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think if you switch Oppenheimer and Maestro, I think Oppenheimer's the one that is accused of being Oscar bait and no one wants to watch. And it's streaming? Like, come on, no one would do that. By the way, also, what do you guys think about the idea of mixing both the 2023 Oscars and the 2024 Oscars so we can just get Dune Part 2, all of its awards, and stop talking about it? I'm already tired of talking about it. Can we just get it out of the way? Can we do 2 Oscars at one time?
Literally the only one talking about it.
It didn't even win the box office. It got its face wiped on the floor by Kung Fu Panda 4. Like nobody's talking about Dune Part 2 anymore.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda Part 4.
No, listen, Todd, on the movie circles, all they're talking about is how they hate Maestro and how they love Doom Part 2. That's all people talk about all day. You got to get wired in. You wired in? See, wired in? It's like Timberlake and Social Network. Are you wired in? You got to be wired in. Gatorade me up, bitch.
You know who's not wired in? Apparently Christopher Nolan, who doesn't have a smartphone and doesn't have internet and all this stuff. I thought that was interesting.
I'm dubious of that claim.
What were the odds that we were going to hear 50 Cent's song on the Oscar
that
telecast?
was awesome.
Like, that's got to be the first time that ever happened.
That was a top 5 moment of the night when they played that song, because that was like, you had to see the movie to understand the context of that song. That was
I looked at my wife and she hasn't seen it. I'm like, that's the song I was talking about. The steel drum.
Important. So it's like Pacino walks out and they play the Godfather music. So in like 50 years, if Justine Triet is giving out a Best Director award, are they going to play 50 Cent? Like,
yes, like that song is forever linked to her.
Yeah. It's like she discovered that song like 20 years after it was big.
I recognize that song too as soon as it started playing. Like,
steel drum.
That's the only song you could play. But then
I'm not sure they could have played. They played the instrumental version because you can't actually play the song.
Yeah.
Not on ABC.
I don't know. I thought it was a fun show.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was short.
It was a fun show.
My daughter was actually sitting next to me the whole entire time. She was watching the entire show, which was crazy. She was like, "Dad, did I get it right? Did I get it right?" And she was frustrated when she got her picks wrong. She's like, "I got it right." When Oppenheimer won for a score, she gave the biggest high five. She's like, "Yeah, got it right." She had some movie, but she got it right.
What was her score?
I didn't even check. She got a couple of them right. She did pretty decently. She was bummed at Spider-Verse. She got 8 right. Okay. So she did average. Heck yeah. But she picked. No, she didn't do that one. It was, yeah.
Well, the real question is if
Emma Stone, which is cool.
Did she do better than Atticus? Because it sounds like Atticus swept the sound design award areas. His knowledge of that was
no, he only got 7 right.
7. So Evelyn did 1 better on that one. Let's see what Fiona did. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 as well.
And how many did we get? That'd be funny if they got more than us.
Zach, you got 3 right. Okay. No.
It's what I told Trisha yesterday. I was like, so the idea is that you pick Oppenheimer for most of the things, and she's like, damn it, I don't think I picked that for hardly anything. And the 2 that she picked it for, it lost. Supporting actress and sound. I was like, she picked it at least
well
for
done.
sound.
I think you may have. You got beat by your niece and nephew, and you may have had the worst score of anybody. She got 4 right.
She got Emma Stone.
Right. She got Emma Stone. She got Poor Things twice, and she got What Was I Made For? That's all she got.
Pearl had 5 right. I'm kind of tired.
Pearl had 5 right. All above the line.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pearl got, like, she almost got
swept out of the
score.
She got picture actor, supporting actress, and director. And everything else she got wrong. Way to go, Pearl. I know you're watching out there.
Like she watched the SAG Awards, I think, is all.
Peter Booker did pretty decently. Yeah, Peter Booker got 3rd place. He did pretty well. He missed Lily. He missed the sound one. He missed the special effects, the makeup, the animated, and the short live action, it looks like.
Okay.
Kyle Heck.
Oh, yeah, Kyle Heck. How did Kyle Heck do?
He missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he would have finished 4th.
So he tied with me?
Yeah, he finished 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he finished 4th.
He texted me when he filled out his ballot. He goes, I filled it out. We'll see how I do. If the legend can live up. And I posted when we posted that it was coming up, I said it's not a competition until Kyle fills out his ballot. So bring it on, Kyle.
Did anyone actually pick Oppenheimer to not win Best Picture or like another Best Picture?
Several.
But serious, like serious people, not children. with all due respect.
Cassie picked Past Lives. I don't know if she.
Chad Reinhold III picked Barbie as well. I don't know who that is.
Why do you have the same person on here 3 times? He filled out 3 ballots.
He filled it out 3 times. I don't know why, and so I just threw them all
none of them were that good.
They were different too. They were different.
Jane, like he knew a few, and he just switched the screenplays. And
maybe he thinks it's like the lottery. The more he throws it in, the more likely he's going to win.
Well, one of them he picked Poor Things for makeup, Golda, and then Maestro. He picked different makeup options.
Golda, Academy Award nominated Golda.
I'll have to watch it at some point.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
I have to watch it.
10 years.
I have to watch El Conde.
Exactly.
Crap. Samantha picked Past Lives, and Trisha picked Poor Things.
Did you guys like my comment? If you shot your film in black and white, you probably got an Oscar nomination this year. Like that's the only reason El Conde got a nomination, because it was shot in black and white.
Black and white movie.
They're not in Mami Wata. That didn't get nominated. But
yeah, what did get
Oppenheimer
nominated
obviously
was Maestro, but everyone hates that. So
it didn't win though. Lots of like everywhere close and extremely loud, incredibly close. That got nominated for a shit ton of stuff, and everybody hated it. You can get nominated; it only intensifies the hatred when it gets nominated, like Maestro.
Are you talking? Wait, are you talking Everything Everywhere All at Once, or Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close?
No, extremely loud. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Remember when that got nominated?
It got nominated twice. It got Picture and Supporting Actor. That was it.
Okay, but it was huge backlash, though. It was like, there's no reason that movie should have been nominated. That's the way.
Because it had like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. That was objectively a bad movie that got nominated for Best Picture. Maestro's got like a great score on everything. Like everyone likes the movie.
What was that 2010, 2011? Like that was just a weak year, and they had to fill out.
Yeah, the War Horse is nominated.
Yeah, 2010. War Horse. 2010, because that was
2011.
Was it 2011?
Yeah, it was in the sliding scale.
Oh gosh.
Hey.
Yeah, it's totally better than Margin Call, right? Sure.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, don't question.
Todd is the master.
Todd
is the master of Oscars.
Thank you.
Yeah. Todd, you were the master. Even though I beat you this year. Is it just cheating for a short to put John Lennon and Yoko Ono in the title?
Yeah, I wrote that down too. That the Beatles were kind of winners of the night. I mean, there's no reason. Supposedly that short isn't good at all. It just it's like people like.
Did you hear some of the people he was shouting out in that too? Those were like big people. So like this is not like some small movie, right? Like didn't he call out? I can't remember, but it was like big.
John Williams, he called out at one point.
Yeah, John Williams. Yeah, thank you, John Williams, for making this film happen. It's like, okay, he's going up against the
John Williams, like, wasn't he a producer on the Kobe Bryant movie?
Oh, I think you're right. And was it Thomas Newman wrote the score for it?
Oh yeah, Thomas Newman wrote the score. Yeah.
But that's one. If that movie is just called War Is Over, it doesn't win. But the fact that it's called War Is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko, that's why it wins. And
you pick it because it's a long title movie. That's why you pick it.
You pick it because it talks about John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
That's why I said Letter to a Pig. Although I don't even know if it's about a pig.
I gotta say, I really think one of the most underrated upsets tonight was Boy and the Heron, because what evidence was there that Spider-Man was really going to lose to that movie? I mean, The Boy and the Heron.
BAFTAs, that was the only thing.
I know, but Spider-Man had already won. Remember back in May, Todd, your favorite time when everyone was like, Spider-Man's going to get nominated for Best Picture. I mean, it went from being a Best Picture nominee to like, okay, it's going to be the animation winner, to not even winning. Like that's a pretty stunning collapse.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's because people realized that it actually wasn't the best thing that's ever been made. Like it was called when it came out. Just like people realized that a week after Doom Part 2 came out.
I feel like it more than just that. I feel like it just was, since it was so early in the year, it just people kind of forgot about it. Like I love that movie. I've kind of forgotten about it because it kind of blends in with the first one, and it's kind of hard to unless you rewatch it recently, you're gonna forget kind of what goes with which one. Where Boy and the Heron is peaking at the right time. It's got the narrative with Miyazaki.
Yeah.
And if you turn on Spider-Verse, the first 20 minutes you're gonna get bored because so is Haley Steinfeld. She's bored. Sucks. Worst performance of the year.
Oh my word! I love how we can just keep going back and forth of Tom talking Spider-Man and Zach talking Oppenheimer, and
well, we're bitter. The one movie, the Pinot Award winner, Killers of the Flower Moon, didn't win anything. That sucks. We have a right to be upset about that shit. Lily should have won. The music should have won. That was an awesome musical performance for that song. That was a great moment. They didn't even mention Scorsese. Leo wasn't even there, and the Bob joke was like borderline offensive, and he didn't find it funny. It was a terrible night for fans.
Scorsese did look you half asleep though.
Yeah, he did look. He
like when Nolan won, he's like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, I'd be disinterested too if my movie was losing to a shitty movie. Like, and you know, like
that's always how Nick Blunt said.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, it wasn't much of a rivalry.
That's another reason why Gosling was MVP tonight. Stood up against Oppenheimer and against the cult of Oppenheimer. Sorry, Adam, go ahead.
Cult of Oppenheimer. What's also weird too is they would have those people stand in that tunnel where people were exiting and they were like talking.
Oh yeah. Billie Eilish bumped into her.
Yeah, it was like she
was
out of my way. Brooks and Angela Bassett is the honorary
Angela Bassett. I don't think I've ever heard anyone make that mistake before. Angela Bassett. Adding the K.
Carol Baskin. Kind of.
Adam has removed himself from the conversation temporarily.
Wow.
Me. Former Eagles wideout Hank Basket.
This champagne of beer is strong, but it is good.
I like that David Allen Greer was our announcer. Like that was actually kind of cool, and he actually walked out at one point and was like, "No, he was the announcer the whole night." Like every time we heard a disembodied voice, it was David Allen Greer.
I'm not sure I really know who that is.
Yeah, I've seen him on a bunch of. He was in Sister.
He was big in the 90s.
Yeah, he was big in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was in Color Purple. That's right.
I kind of felt bad for him when he had to be like, the Oscars are brought to you by Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, Taylor's version. And like, streaming on Disney Plus in 4 days.
That says, you know what, Terry? What you just said right there, that sums up the Oscars in 2024. That sums up what people think about movies. That sums up the importance or lack thereof of this whole charade. I mean, probably the biggest story of the night really is going to be Billie Eilish. I bet Billie Eilish and Ryan Gosling are going to lead more TV 60-second features on the Oscars than Oppenheimer or anything else, or Cillian Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Or like it's all going to. No one cares anymore.
The TikTok moment of the Oscars for sure.
100%. Maybe John Cena sneaks in there.
And I was going to say John Cena, probably a close second.
Shaking hands with guy who's gonna be wrestling at WrestleMania in a few weeks. The Rock.
I was really excited.
Maybe he's going back to wrestling.
I don't wrestle naked. I wrestle in jorts. That's worse than naked.
Yeah,
I wanted some live Vegas action about who was going to pop up naked behind Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I was really hoping for some Paul Walter Hauser action on that.
Somebody thanked Paul Walker. I heard someone, but I'm sure it was a different one.
Yeah,
maybe a John Goodman.
I would have loved for it to be Matt Damon. That's honestly where I thought.
That would have been that. Like have him like tied up naked. Like that would have been.
And just
Guillermo, you could have him tied to Greg Kinnear, and they could have had us stuck on you 20-year anniversary.
And then they really would have said, Matt Damon, what movie are you in? Oh, Stuck on You.
I did like the Ricky
tied up and wheeled out by Ben Affleck. And
so this is kind of funny though.
Jacket.
So you guys haven't seen the movie yet. Todd has. He knows what I'm talking about. But Ricky Stenicki, John Cena says a line. He's like, "You have to go full method here." Like Matt Damon, he actually bought a zoo before he did that movie.
That was a good one.
It's such a good one. He went full method. He bought a zoo. I was like, I don't think he did. He's like, no, he did. Such a good line.
Ricky Stenicki is a really good movie. Everyone needs to watch it.
Funny, yeah.
Never heard of it.
I'll have to get that.
Amazon Prime. It's the new Zac Efron, John Cena movie.
Peter Farrelly movie.
Peter Farrelly. And Cena Yeah, that could be the front runner for the best Cage performance. Like Nicolas Cage is him.
Well, because it was supposed to be Nicolas Cage at one point, and it's supposed to be Joaquin Phoenix and James Franco and.
I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
Well, so you didn't read my review.
Well, I didn't read.
And Jim Carrey, that was the other one that was attached to it.
Check out Todd's review for Ricky Stenicki on our blog. And my baseball preview articles; those are up there too. Zach mentioned the Pinots a little bit ago. We do the award season isn't over yet because we still have our Pinots that we need to announce.
It never ends.
It never ends. In 2 weeks, we'll be announcing the winners of the major categories to our Pinots. Go to almostsideways.com. You can check out who we nominated. You can check out who won all the dumb, pointless categories we always do, but they're always so much fun to talk about. Like the most Nicolas Cage performance of the year, and who had the most punchable face of the year. And,
I thought the sound. What the hell is it called? The Holocaust movie, The Edge of Sound.
Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest. That guy with the hat. The guy with the hat. He had a little bit of a douchey hat. He probably wins biggest douchebag of the awards.
The Edge of Sound.
Well, I tried.
Hold on, I'll get him out of here. Don't worry, I'll get him out of here. Take a time out.
I'm Oppenheimer.
Son of a bitch.
You're always horrible. Like, I've been going back and listening to old episodes. I don't know how many times you said crazy stupid Asians when talking about.
Listen, okay, it wasn't my decision to have the Oscars start, I guess, a full hour earlier. I can't really blame it on the time. But the daylight savings time thing messed it all up.
Which means it earlier.
Yeah, even earlier. It was 2 hours earlier.
So what you're telling me is I have a chance.
Yeah, exactly. And you're wasting it. All right. I think it might be about time to wrap this up. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts from Zach?
I am destroyer of worlds. I don't know. Hooray, Oppenheimer! Worst best picture of my lifetime. Although next
you said
year
that last year about it.
I know.
You say that every year.
Go further and further
you
down.
Said that about Shape of Water too.
You said that about Green
Book
Book
and Crash.
Yeah.
And everything.
But not in the moment. We gave Crash 4 stars in the moment. Later, you said
we don't talk about. We don't bring those questions up in Wine Country.
Yeah. All right, so Zach is the destroyer of Oscars. Todd, any last thoughts?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to next year's Oscars. I have had my predictions up now for over 2 months, so look out for that. Megalopolis is the front runner in my opinion, so we'll see when that actually comes out.
Oh yes.
Yeah, check out that. That's on the blog too, along with Todd's Ricky Stenicki review and my baseball articles. Check those out too. It's pretty cool. Adam, last thoughts.
Take us out.
Yeah, I just dropped some daily notes on the podcast as well. So Watchmen in the Box for 2009 movies and some new films as well. So that's cool. I'm getting the Almost Sideways Pinot noms clips. I'm getting those.
Nice. I was hoping you'd be doing that.
I have all of them, all the acting noms booked out in 40-second increments, so they're looking pretty swell. And then I'm also gearing up for slides for possibly this show that's coming up in a little bit.
There we go.
The 2009 Pinots.
You get the whole cast of Zombieland on there.
Hell yeah, dude. I couldn't cut them out. They're kind of, and there's the Hurt Locker. There's Inglorious Bastards.
They didn't even play Cliff Booth during the stunt performer montage. What the hell?
That's true.
Or Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling plays a stunt performer in Drive, and they have a stunt scene.
And he's a stunt performer.
And he's going to play a stuntman in his new movie. What's it called?
Fall Guy.
Yeah.
That's why they were introducing that, which they should
there
have.
We go.
They should have that Oscar nom.
So let's talk about this just for a second here. So Adam sent me this at one point, and I had to and he's like, "What do you think?" And I said, "It has way too few bastards in it, and it needs a bomb tech too." And so that's why he's got Bastards and Hurt Locker in there. Before that, they weren't even in there. it was
the bear juice
Zombieland took up half the graphic. But
well, I was trying not to give away all the stuff we would nominate, but yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Oh, those are the big ones.
It's complicated.
True.
Where was Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep in bed?
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
now
Todd's
we're talking.
classic. Yeah, or not Todd's, Terry's.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it wrong. There was somebody could have won money on that. Me getting them back mixed up.
Wrong brother, you hate bitch.
There you go.
All right. Well, the one line I thought was really good from one of the speeches was actually from Zach's least favorite speech of the night, and that was Christopher Nolan when he wrapped it up and he said, I thought it was great. He said, we've been making movies for a little over 100 years now. Imagine dropping into 100 years after they started painting or writing poetry. We don't even know what we're doing yet, and just thank you for thinking that I made a small impact on it and at this time. I just thought that was such a neat way of putting perspective on the whole thing, and shows how Christopher Nolan just kind of looks at things differently too. And I loved Oppenheimer. I thought the ceremony was great, and my eyes see Oppenheimer. I
get to hear that every time.
Yeah. It's not, and the Oscar goes too. It's my eyes see Oppenheimer.
He wasn't a fan. He liked Killers too. He was pulling for that shit with Tim Robbins. They're both probably drinking over it.
Now. Open the envelope.
Al and Tim are free to join us.
And he pulled it out and he showed it to the camera. I didn't read it wrong, people.
I did like the Oppenheimer cinematographer's sneakers, and also he's like, try to film on celluloid. It's great. It's easy.
Yeah, that was good. That was good too. That was good too. All right. Well, I think that's about it. This has been the Oscars, and we've wrapped it up. It's one of the best days of the year. Honestly, it really is. We had fun. We've had fun talking about it nonstop since Todd wrote his predictions last January. And so, and we got to talk about it for 2 more weeks because we got to give our Pinots out in a couple weeks. But thank you guys for joining us on this journey. Well, join us next week. We'll be doing a deep dive celebrating the 25th anniversary of Election.
Ooh.
So make sure you check us out then. And then in 2 weeks, we'll be handing out those last few Pinots for picture,
from the strip.
Actress.
We're going back to Vegas.
Supporting actress. Zach is going back to Vegas. You heard it here first.
I will bet on Nebraska again, though.
We'll be in the tournament at that point. And that, director, screenplays, ensemble. We'll have a lot of fun with that, as well as doing our power rankings and regular stuff alongside. So we'll be celebrating Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy, Emma Stone, Robert Downey Jr., Divine Joy Randolph, Christopher Nolan, Justine Triet, Cord Jefferson. Like, those are the major winners of the night. And of course, the hat. Apparently a douchey sound guy.
Not Jefferson Cord, no, Jefferson White, or the guy from Eileen.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Congratulations again to Brett Doze, and for winning the Oscar challenge this year.
You can come on the podcast. You can come
on the podcast anytime. Just let Zach know. I know you guys are buddy. He was your former student, right, Zach? That's what it was, former student.
He's good. I've had him on the podcast too. I've had him on before.
There we go. So you can come on, do whatever you want. We'll have you for like a power ranking or something. It could be fun. Deep dive, whatever you want. All right.
Yes.
With that, I think that's it. We'll be back at you next week. Happy Oscar night. Have fun watching movies, everybody.
Didn't spin.
See you next Christmas.
Catch you on the flip side.
Wishing everyone on Earth a pleasant evening.
Yeah. Hold on. Where is it? I gotta find it here.
See
you next Christmas.
There you go. See you next
Gatorade
Christmas,
me,
everybody.
bitch. I spent 20 years learning Finnish.
Gatorade me, bitch.